Hi! What did we just watch?
The Incredibles 2!
Yeah!
It was so good.
It was
so
really good. Okay, you can go first.
Both of us were really, afraid that this movie wasn't going to be good. Because it's been such a long time, and I also know how Disney works. Like, Disney has these formulas where it's like, bring in a stupid little animal so we can sell toys, and make sure you do this. And for, an Incredibles sequel, this wasn't the direction I thought they were going to take it.
Based off the trailers.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, a time jump or something, because it's been so long. And the first movie ended with Jack, so I thought Jack was going to be older, so we could actually, see his powers and stuff like that. But when they say that it starts when the first one left off, it literally
fucking starts
where
right where
the first one left off. When it started, I was having deja vu in the theater.
Yeah, she was like, what the fuck?
My 9-year-old self was like, what the fuck is going on? Because it literally picks up exactly where it left off, and the animation style is exactly the same.
It's so
just
much better.
Updated. The animation in this movie is so good.
Yeah.
It's so
but
good.
It's not they didn't try to be realistic. They all have goofy proportions.
Brad Bird art style, for sure.
They didn't try to make it super realistic.
Yeah.
It still was very cartoony, but it was good cartoony. It was really, really good. It was really well done.
So good.
Yeah, me and her on the way here, I'm I wasn't excited for this. I wasn't even going to see the premiere. I was all yeah, I'll go, but I'm not excited for it. But oh my God, I'm so fucking hyped right now.
Yeah, I want to see it again. It was so
I'm
good.
buying this movie for sure. There's no way.
I can't. Disney knows what they're doing. Alyssa kept saying that
because it's kind of it's kind of like the whole Monsters, Inc. thing where you wanted it to be about Boo, you wanted this and you wanted that, and you didn't get it. But Monster University is still a good, pretty good. But Incredibles 2, I want to say it's right up there with Incredibles 1.
It's one of the best Pixar movies. Just like The Incredibles kind of top the charts, because a lot of people, because it's been such a long time, but The Incredibles was the first movie I think that Pixar did of actual people.
Yeah.
So they had
it did well. It did really well.
Yeah, and they had to animate stuff that they've never done before. So in the first Incredibles, we saw them animate stuff that they've never done before, and it worked, and it looks like it was a beautiful movie. So I feel 2, they just tops everything. This is probably
They thought, okay, we were talking about this on the way to the car, but Marvel needs to fucking take notes
for sure.
on how superheroes
movies,
are done. Because
this one, takes the cake.
It's so
and
crazy.
Ice cream and everything.
I was telling Destiny this, I've never in my life, during fight scenes, I was what the fuck? I was flipping my shit,
I had no idea
dude.
you could do that with that power.
Yeah.
They just fucking oh, she's invisible and she shields. Okay, let's fucking run with that. She stretches. Let's
crazy.
Just do everything.
Yeah, Elastigirl's dope as fuck.
That's what I loved so much, because the first one it would focus more on Mr. Incredible and the family.
Yeah.
So the second one was Elastigirl. So we saw Elastigirl push to her limits. There were definitely times where Elastigirl finished something, she was ugh. And in the theater we were just every
time a fight scene and you can audibly hear everyone
is
oh shit, bitch, how the fuck did you pull that off?
Shit, I love that they showed us their limits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's more readable when they're pushing their strengths if we know their limits. So I think
this villain is so much worse than Syndrome.
Yeah, Syndrome was the funny, I want to get revenge. This dude's some political type stuff.
Yeah, straight up political. I was telling her it reminded me of Amon from Legend of Korra, because they took over some shit, and I was okay,
and the
what the fuck?
Stuff was, and that's another thing, because the first Incredibles was a very adult film, because it dealt with mass genocides when Syndrome was killing all of the heroes, and it dealt with divorce and infidelity when she thought he was cheating on her. So these are really adult themes.
They carried that,
and I like
shit
that
on.
they kept it adult. There was a whole conversation where I was just a kid is not going to understand anything that they're saying.
Yes.
That, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. I'm this is a scene that's
and you know what's funny, during that scene kids started talking, and because it didn't. It was too serious for them. Yeah, so I think they're aware that this is for kids, but they're also aware that the first generation was kids 14 years ago, so this movie needs to be adult, and it was. Okay, and really interesting was Mr. Incredible. I thought I was gonna hate the fact that he was like a stay-at-home dad.
Exactly.
But it was so like moving. I was just like, this is so like heartwarming.
Yeah,
like
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's so weird because in the first movie I always said like, wow, they really got a family down pack. They really got a fucking family down pack. Like they were super like, this is how a family fucking acts. And I'm like, dude, this is so good. I don't think the trailers does
this justice, because the trailers did not make it seem. It made it seem like
I'm glad
Violet was like a hormonal teenager that was like stressing over this boy.
She was,
and,
but
like,
in a relatable way. Yeah, in a relatable way. Like not to use the word relatable like that, but
yeah, it was justified.
And like Dash is your usual like annoying little brother, and I'm like, yeah, they nail these characters down. Like, it's weird because you haven't seen them in 14 years, but you're like, that's their character. Like they nailed it down so good. Like Disney's fucking crazy, dude.
I know.
Like,
I don't understand. Like this movie
up.
does feel like it took 14 years, you know what I mean? Like technically, like if we look this up, the animation probably only spent like 3 or 4 years on it, but it does feel like a movie that was like,
I feel like
it took 14 years to build this story.
There wasn't a lot of scenes where like, oh, you could have left that out.
Not at all.
There was like, it always came back. Like something always happened, and I was just like, even if like the whole entire thing was funny, I'm like, oh, they put that for this certain reason. Yeah. To learn about this certain character or whatever.
Like everything was so good, and like
Jack is such a good character.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that because I was like, Edna Mode is not gonna fucking babysit this kid. Like, you know what I mean? She wasn't that type of person, but I was like, they have such good writers because it made sense when Edna was like,
oh, beautiful
sense. Give me your kid.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that because I thought Edna, like them putting her in was just gonna to put her in.
Yeah, like
to not
she was
serve
in
a
the
purpose.
First movie. Yeah.
But she serves a fucking purpose. Yeah. Like I was just like, damn, I thought about everything. It's kind of like I feel like whoever was on the writing team, not like just the director, also watched the first one and was like, no, we can't do that to them. Like they really thought about things. Like I was not disappointed at all.
And Brad Bird is also the writer. He's the writer and the director.
Oh, is he?
I think they do have other writers too. Like,
okay, that's probably
like,
why.
Everything, pretty much. And he draws, and that's another reason why the art style is so different, because he hand draws the characters and then they 3D render them. So that's why they have that like look. And I'm so glad they kept it.
Yeah, and the whole like cartoony like beginning and endings, they kept that too. The soundtrack's the same.
Yeah, it's just like a reprise of the first movie, which I loved.
But it's not. The story is different.
Yeah.
Do you have any complaints? I have a complaint, but it's like not a big complaint. I also wanted to mention
that I like that Frozone is in the movie a lot, and I like that he's not just like in Mr. Incredible's friend. Like they call him like Uncle Frozone. Like Lucius, he's actually part of the family.
They're like Lucius.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that like. I don't know. That's not really a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler.
No, because
like,
he's in the trailer.
Yeah, he's part of the family. So like when the kids don't have Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, they call him, and I liked that a lot. I like that he wasn't just like the super friend. He's like actually part of the family.
And they like, it's cute because they call like Uncle Lucius and then Auntie Monda.
Edna Mode, yeah.
Yeah, Edna Mode. There you go. Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's cute. It's a cute add-in.
Complaints.
I was telling Destiny.
I think we both like complain about the same thing.
Yeah, I was telling Destiny that, because like halfway through I'm like, oh, I think I figured out who the villain was, but I didn't figure out who the villain was. Like I was on the right track, but it like I wasn't completely right, and I was just like, oh, that was an interesting twist, because I wasn't because I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, that's not what I thought. Like I thought it was like, something different. Okay, you go.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like I kind of looked at it from an artistic standpoint. I was like, this person's in the shadows a lot, so maybe like they're the villain, but this person also has a character where they're not really in the spotlight, so it's hard to like figure out like, are they doing this for foreshadowing, or are they just doing it because it's the character? It's like Violet, like she's like
dark
and introverted, like so she's in the background a lot, so it's like that.
Yeah, but it was good because I thought, like right off the bat, when it kind of picks up, I was like, oh my god, I already figured out who it is.
Yeah, like, it was still a good like reveal.
Yeah, exactly, because I thought it was gonna be one of those like they're gonna reveal him, like I fucking called this shit, kind of like Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, like like I called this a while ago, but this one, when it happened, it threw me off, and I was just like, oh shit, okay, all right, you got me, Disney. Like, all right, I don't know. What would you rate it? Do you have anything else before we rate it? Ooh, rating's giving me like anxiety.
I know. I'm thinking of like if there's anything else to add, like.
Because we're trying not to spoil anything.
I know, it's so good.
If
we ever have time, we should do a spoiler review too.
Yeah, we will.
But I'm trying to think if there's like anything else.
I want to do a spoiler, but she's like, no. Which she's right.
This movie's been waiting. Like, I'm pretty sure no one wants to know spoilers. But this movie is like a 10 out of 10. It's like an 11. It's like
really
definitely like top 3 favorites.
I think literally the fight scenes alone get a 10 out of 10.
So good. And they're like. It's so fast
good.
paced, and then they'll like slow it down, and then like they just like.
But not like Zack Snyder slow it down.
Yeah, it's like, it's so good. Like it's they carry you the same way like a Marvel movie does, but better. Like
yeah, so
there
much better.
There were so many scenes where I was legit like tense. You know what I mean?
The pacing is so much better in this movie because they intercut like normal shit with like fast paced shit. So like. You're kind of racing the whole entire time, and then you like slow down, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and the climax was going like different things all at once, but it was so balanced and like, it was just so good. And I think the ending was deserved because it's the same thing from the first movie. Should supers be legal or not? Mm-hmm. So I think the ending is deserved.
Yeah. I was telling Destiny, it's those fight scenes alone. If I just saw, I think. Just the fight scenes, I would have been like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's so dope. Like, I want Marvel to watch this movie because now I feel like all of my beloved superheroes are not at their capacity. I don't think they're using their powers the way they should because I'm like, I was even telling her for Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic has the same fucking powers as Elastigirl, and he does not use it to, like, little bit of what she could do in the first fight you see her in. I was just like, bitch, what the you tight as hell. Like she's so good. They're all so good.
Yeah. I'm like still kind of sick, so I'm coughing.
Yeah. She's gonna disease me. But yeah, I think I give it a 10 out of 10 too. I think everyone who watched Incredible should watch it. It's such like I'm not even giving it a good score because it is a nostalgia film. It's just a really good film.
Yeah.
And I think you can watch it without watching the first one.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Nothing rides on it at all.
All right.
Yeah, bye.